Timekeeper, yeah. Okay lah, can everyone already open the camera? Okay, we can start now. Okay, dah. Munira already say round 4 start.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am one of the representative from group 3. So for the first question, I would like to ask regarding the financial literacy, that is one of the alternative that had been mentioned from group 1. I want to know who is the target that you want to apply the alternative, and please state your justification for the answer.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So I move the next question. I got your point, which is cultivate proper financial literacy since young age. As you stated that it will help them to manage their financial properly and achieve the financial stability. But I doubt with that idea, whereas you didn't state clearly. You only state that parents exposed about financial games, financial literacy books, and others. The question is, what type of financial learning that can be taught towards children that's suitable for their age? So that's all. Thank you.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rahman Zamir. For the next question is, regarding your new alternative in which is investment, you are encouraging people to invest. However, as we know, investment has its own risk and people nowadays lack of knowledge about this. One needs to have a reliable knowledge, sources and experts to guide them when making an investment so that they would not lose their money. So my question is, how do we educate people to start investing? Thank you.
Okay, so the fourth question is basically about your housing program. So as you state that to make this housing program to improve the policy of housing program, you state that you have to be strict to improve the application policy. So my question is, how is being strict will improve the application policy, isn't it? Will become more burden to people who want to apply. So that's my question.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Fadilin. I would like to question about your alternative on financial literacy. So in order for the children know how to manage their financial in proper way, means that the parents must first know how to do that. So, but how about the parents who didn't know about this, or the parents who haven't have enough knowledge about this? So yes, that's my question. Thank you.
Bismillah, can I counter now? Okay, so I will answer the first question, which is regarding the financial literacy. Okay, who is the target and justified. So this alternative is applied at home for the children. Okay, because the awareness of financial literacy and start applying the financial literacy are started from home. It is necessary to expose about financial literacy to their children in early age. Because of what? Because financial literacy is about ability and understand to manage the financial itself. So this need to be learned at early age. Okay, so the children will have self-control, self-ability, self-awareness in managing their financial in early stage and even in the future. So this can be one of the solutions of urban poverty in individual aspect. That's all for me. Let's move on to second counter.
Okay, Bismillah. I will counter the second question. There are a lot of financial learning that can be taught towards children. Okay, but since we're out of time, I can give you 4 examples. So first, of course, practice of saving. Teach them to set the saving goals
and provide a place for them to save. Plus, discuss with them wants versus needs. And then second is encourage part-time gigs or let them earn their own money. You can bring your kids to the Kidzania, but for the parents that cannot afford to bring their kids to Kidzania, they also can make like Kidzania. Like when the kids doing a housework, or maybe you can give mission for them to complete. In return, you will give money for their hard work, and it doesn't have to be a very big amount. It just to teach their kids to earn allowance through housework can help them build the self-reliance they'll need later in life. So like drawing a mental connection between income and personal effort is something that will pay a huge dividends when they grow up. And then third is teach them on how to track their spending, which parents can teach their children to jot down their financial book, like book 5555, to on how much they are spending, how many balance money they have, like a real transaction. And then lastly, have them contribute to purchase. For example, you give your money, you give your money to your children, and when you arrive at counter, you ask your children to pay the money to the cashier, and then you compliment them like, "Wow, you have a lot of money. Thank you paying for us." They will feel very proud. That's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, I will answer the number three. How do we educate people to start invest? Okay, for those who do not have any knowledge about investing, they can seek the service of financial advisor using a local bank or permodalan nasional Berhad PNB to get a clearer understanding of investment fund of the primary role of a certificate or licensed financial advisor or planners is to provide holistic financial advisory service to consumers, debt management, savings or education, future investment and tax and others. This group of professionals will assist users in various required areas, including identifying final goals, determining goals, and achieve them. Reviewing how much to save and investing based on earned income by making a simple accumulation rate assumption, designing investment portfolio, managing risk as well as can help prepare a will and so on. Okay, that's all for me.
Okay, so for the question number 4, about the housing program, why is the policy strict for, is it necessary? So, okay, before we go further, I would like to give a few examples of housing programs that were introduced by the Malaysian government. So, for example, our Rumah PPR, Rumah Pusat Zakat, and Rumah Mesra Rakyat. So, there are a few issues currently occurred for the housing program, whereby the policy it stated that the owner cannot rent their house to other people because that house is just for them. But currently, there are a few owner of the house actually rent their house to other people, and this is not fair. Where supposedly that house, because the owner itself has another house uh, another house. So it actually like it's supposed to be that house supposed to be for the needy person, and I think it is not burden for the people that want this housing program, because as a human being, me myself, when things are free, we take for granted. And when things are free, we take for granted, and we must put something a few amounts so that when we want it, we put effort on it and we will appreciate it on it. So it is hope that in the future, by making a strict policy, it will reduce the number of urban poverty in the future. So I guess that's all from my point. So let's move on to point number 5.
Assalamualaikum. So I will counter the last question. So for the parents who don't have any knowledge in financial management, actually they can teach your children with the basic practice, some basic practice such as give your children an allowance. And this practice actually suggested by the financial expert and have been used by all generation before our grandmother, if you have experienced it. This is because by giving the allowance, the children has actual money to work with, and they can learn how to use it and how to save it. And as we can see, the implication of this practice is actually real, because once the allowance is gone, the children needs to save more and in order to get what they want. And this practice is actually to encourage children to save more money. And I think we now we live in modern era and we have the technology. So I think the parents actually can get the knowledge from the Google, because there are a lot of sharing from the financial expert there. So I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Alright, let's move on to challenge group 3. So the first question is regarding the first alternative, which is develop an app that suggests via alternative luxurious items. My question is, does this app has limit of purchase? Because what we understand here, this app is promoting overspending habit. It is clear that overspending habit is not a suitable solution to solve urban poverty. That's all from me.
So for the second challenge is I will challenge the alternative one, which is to develop an application or program that suggests buying alternative luxurious or cheap items. So my question is, may I know what is the effectiveness of this app? Don't you think that this app will actually make people to purchase more? Thank you.
Okay, question number 3. Based on the second alternative, when we talk about planning, it's more to the output or result. However, based on your alternative here, it's more to the input, like only accept the knowledge and there is no practical. But feedback from the users is the only way you know the result, right? So people nowadays are really lazy to fill in the feedback form. So I want to ask, what is another way to know the result from this alternative?
Okay, so for the fourth encounter, so based on one of your alternative is that how the company can ensure that the poor people can get advisor during the MCO, or do you go home by home to get the advice in terms of financial?
Okay, for the first.
Okay, for the last question, for the application, for the last question, for the application that is great, how do you want to the person to sustain using this application? And from application can reduce urban poverty? That's my question. Thank you.
Okay, for the first question, does this app has limitation? This app has no limitation for buyers to buy, because every time they buy the items, they will get the cashback from it. Means the more you buy, the more cashback you get. Then this cashback will automatically go into the investment account, which links with this app that we create. To simplify, we can say the more you buy, the more you save. That's all. Thank you.
So, the next I will counter back the question number 2. Thank you for the question. To answer this question, first of all, you need to know that this app was created to change their shopping pattern from luxurious item to the cheapest one with the same quality. So this app can help them to fulfill their needs within their budget. Other than that, while shopping, they also can get the benefit by the existence of cashback. That the cashback will go through the investment, which is the investment is the gold app, which is the gold app act as an investment tool. The reason why use the gold app, because the investment in gold is low risk. So your question is, what is the effectiveness? The more it will lead them to more buying. But they will more buying, the more they get a cashback. So there's no the waste of it. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, so I would like to counter the question regarding on are there any other ways to know the result of the new alternative other than feedback? So yes, of course we have. So when users have complete their reading of the article we provide for them, they will need to summarize what they understand and what they plan to improve their financial. So by doing that, we will know the user will imply it into their in order to for them to solve their problem. Other ways also, we also can check the result through how many people view our article. The hypothesis is simple. The more viewer on that article, the more effective the article are. So in order to achieve this, we will make sure that the headline and the content of the article will attract them to not only read but review the article. Well, the article itself is written by the expert on financial field. So the content we provide for the user, we believe it is effective and they will take action to improve their financial management as it is important for their future also. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, next I will counter the question from one, and that is how the company can help the poor people during the CMCO if they want to have a financial planning, advice on financial planning. So these questions are from one of our alternative, and that is we want to create company that will have a team of advisor that will help them in financial planning. So I like this question because it helps us to prepare for the worst situation if we can't approach the person directly. So as the question of asking how, so we will change the approach according to the situation. So there are two approaches that we can use in the terms of when we facing MCO or any pandemic issue. Inshallah, that we hope that it is far from us, inshallah. So and that is the first one is we will approach the person through social media or through phone, because nowadays everyone has at least Facebook or at least has phone that we can directly call a message. But if the person didn't have the accessibility to the internet or the phone, we can also approach them through letter or through mail or through documentation that we can post to their house so that they can also obtain the information, although they can meet us directly. So I think that through the approach, we can still help for those that seek for advice in the terms of financial planning. Okay, that is from me. That is all from me.
Okay, for the final question, so I will be answering quickly about the sustainability of this application and also how it can help the urban poverty. So basically, to sustain an application is basically you must have to communicate with the users, and also you have to make it updated always, and also try to communicate with them efficiently. So and then you have to try to always make updates so that the application itself will be sustainable throughout the whole the user's time. And the lastly is about the how it can improve urban poverty is basically because we're targeting to improve the financial planning. We can see that users nowadays, they tend to buy something that is not suitable for their budget. So it's important for us to make them buy things that is suitable for their budget. So by they know how to use the budget wisely, so they can try to avoid from things that is extravagant and not suitable for their budget, and thus help them to avoid from loans and debts that aren't unnecessary. So that's it for me. Thank you.